recording.
Um, so yeah, it was okay. There were a couple of the points of contact that were kind of not available when I was visiting them. So I kind of had to I talked to somebody who was in charge at the time I was there and went over things, talked about it and kind of gave them the flyer and said like, it'd be nice if you could just kind of put this out to the people who might come here, the people excuse me, the people who work there
Hmm.
also. It was two libraries, a church, um, and the why am I blanking on this? Oh, the Boys and Girls Club and the uh, it's like a soup kitchen in Durango, and they're the only ones who actually replied with emails, like email addresses of people who are interested. And they were kind of like the cohort I thought would be the most. It was like, oh, we can definitely get people from this place. So I mean, we did. I thought more people would be like jumping at the bit for it, but I guess not. I don't know. Maybe it just takes time. It is summer, People are having fun in that part of the state, I guess.
So uh, maybe I should pull up the sheet where we've been keeping these. Be good to record, maybe. Um, so where are we keeping these? It's not in Epic Homes, right?
It's in whatever we had the stuff on the Google Drive, the maybe diagnostic team, maybe.
Okay, we've got new homes candidates, so I think that's probably it.
It's it. That's the name of the file.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we have,
I know Paul added to it.
yeah, so let's maybe fill in what contact you had.
Okay. I can do that. Now I have to find it.
Here.
There it is. Okay. So do you want me to do like just insert a note into their row with all the people who
Yeah, maybe just over on the side, like what happened. I just want to remember
sure.
we have so many possibilities that it'd be easy for these things to get scrambled.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll have to look through my email to find that. I did email them again though. I said, hey, just wanted to see if anything came up. I don't know. It's like I don't know. I don't know if people were just acting like very happy and interested to my face, and maybe they changed their mind and I left. I was kind of thinking more people would sign up, but I think what I want to do is follow up too, and maybe see. This is one of the things I was going to ask you. Is it? Are we not? Are you not interested if we can't get 16 homes? Like
I
if it's
think, yeah,
three or
I think
four?
we're gauging expressions of interest, and the number of homes available within a community is going to be one of our deciding points.
Okay.
Because the fewer homes we have, the more we're going to have to spread our field people out, and the harder it's going to be. Also, the less comparable it will be.
Okay, that makes sense. I think that's I wanted to follow up and send a follow-up email to them and just kind of I guess let them know that it's not necessarily we're not interested if you can't meet 16. And I that's what I wanted to confirm with you that it's not that we're not considering them, but it might be obviously lower on the list than a community that has that target number, I guess.
Well, and I think let's think about how we're portraying this, right?
Okay.
Um, like I think ideally we're choosing one community. That is going to be the lowest wear and tear on whoever's doing the work. Um, and then I think I feel like right now we're seeing who's interested, right? And so it's not like sign up because they might not be signing up for anything. I think it's we're seeking expressions of interest to be involved in this study. and I don't know how you've been saying this, but I know you haven't really been giving any, like, if you sign up, we're gonna be there. Um, but like, how should we frame that best? Like, I feel like it's sort of like, but this is probably wrong. Like one community, one lucky community will have the opportunity to, to be involved.
Your lives will change.
Um, so I don't know, yeah.
So how about
I don't,
this? I will draft up an email that I'll send like another follow-up I would like to send to the folks that I talked to, or and also the ones that I couldn't talk to. And I can send that around so you can kind of see if this is the tone that we want, if this is how we want to frame it,
sure.
and then we can make some whatever edits the team wants, and then I can just send it out just like a BCC or whatever.
Hmm. Yeah, that sounds good. So
Okay.
there's a huge number of things listed in here. I'm assuming that you only touched a few of them, right?
Yeah. So on my trip, it was just Pagosa Springs, Cortez, and Durango.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the people on the healthy
Oh,
housing call
and Bayfield. Sorry, Bayfield as well, and
and
Alamosa. Wow, I mean, there's
oh,
not. Sorry. So I went to
just a few.
Alamosa. I'm sorry. I went to Alamosa, Bayfield,
Mhm.
Durango, Pagosa Springs, and Cortez.
Okay.
There. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I think the one of the people on the healthy housing call was also from Durango. His name was Steve Proces.
Oh wow.
Do you know him?
No, I don't. But I was saying, wow, because that's where I've gotten emails. Like the emails, if you want to participate, is in Durango.
Right.
Cool.
And he said, so he's a environmental health type person. So I'm gonna just, I should probably put his contact information in here.
Is he from the? Oh, listen, I can't remember what was the name of the group that was wanting to meet at Cottonwood. It was like a local HD because they were interested in what we were doing.
You're talking about the library and the Tri-County Health Department?
Maybe that's something of Tri County. They met Nick
Yeah.
at one of the sites down there.
Yeah, and I think sometimes, well, so actually I'm saying Tri-County and San Juan both expressed interest. And I think San Juan County Health is who actually had money or
Okay, that
promise of money.
that sounds about right. So I because that is Durango, right? That
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
okay, yeah.
So I also think that if we have a number of organizations, or at least a couple of organizations in a location, it's better rather than putting it all in like one church or soup kitchen to find all those homes. And it's not really part of their mission, right?
Mhm,
So we don't want to lean on like somebody who's running a soup kitchen necessarily to find us homes, because that's a lot out of their it- out of their scope.
mhm,
Like they may be willing to help, but it's one of those things that the less it's part of their mission, the more they the more it drops when they get really busy or under pressure.
mhm.
Um, so then the other person that was on the call yesterday is someone from Greeley. And her name is Anarelli Morales. And she said that they have locations that are affected by smoke. I don't think of Greeley as really a valley, like with inversions, but maybe I'm maybe I'm making assumptions, right? I think of Greeley as being more in the flat town, so I'm gonna follow up with her. Um. So I think. Okay, so yeah, just put your notes in this file so we can see um, what contacts have been made. Because I feel like we're gonna have to choose somebody and then kind of go in earnest.
Mhm.
Like just start trying to find the homes like in late August.
Yeah.
So can I ask, Will, I know there's been, or last we spoke, or I heard there was some uncertainty around your support. Um, has that been resolved, or where, do you know where you stand right now? Is it okay to ask this?
Yeah, I think it's the um plan is for 20% or 20, like a day a week type thing, right?
Yeah, so I'm planning to continue that on Sapphires, but your like position as a whole.
Oh, yeah, I think it's at least through the summer, right?
For 6 months we have, or
Or
we have,
6 months?
yeah, new project, Tammy, from ASHRAE that can fund about 5 full months of Will's salary. So if it's 80%, um, then it can fund for longer. It's basically just funding for him.
Okay, that's great
And
news.
yeah, it is. And we have 2 proposals under review right now that would have like longer, um, like multi-year proposals that
Mhm.
I've written him into those budgets. They wouldn't, if they were even awarded, they wouldn't begin until at the earliest October, and probably more realistically, January 25.
Okay.
So I think right now, I also have a third project that I can support him on in the fall, and I'm trying to reserve those funds. And so I've told Will, and when we talked about this recently, my preference is like 2 projects, and at 3 projects, I think all team members start to feel strained because,
Mhm.
and I haven't talked about this with you, but I think Sapphires and ASHRAE, nice pairing. It can be 1 day a week. I think maximum though, right now, he could go to 2 days a week on something else because of the deliverable timeline for the ASHRAE project. It's aggressive. And
Mm.
I think if I cut his time on that project to less than 3 days per week, we are going to suffer in
Oh,
our
yeah.
ability to meet the
Mhm.
expectations. But I think there is room for 1 to 2 days. And right now I feel really comfortable with 80% on the ASHRAE project and 20% on Sapphires. If you were looking for more time though, I think probably up to 2 days per week would be totally fine. And then, or I think about it in that terms, like, or 20 or 40% for the month. If you want more, and we, Will, as you're interested in maybe a more field-based versus the computer-based work, we can also expand that, Tammy, heading into like now into the summer, or if you want to plan for the fall for that to shift. I think for that, I would maybe value like a month lead time so that I can figure out who else I'm going to bring on to the other project, just because that deliverable timeline isn't really within my ability to
Yeah.
like renegotiate.
No, I don't think that's an issue. Last I heard from Will, I think there was some uncertainty beginning around May.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like that's resolved a bit. So my question here was partly, I know Will can't afford to live on 20%, even if Sapphires can continue it. So do we still have Will?
Yes. Yes. Well, and
Sort of my question.
yeah, because I really want to keep Will. I have a third project that's why I was trying to say that I could fund him on, but I'm trying to avoid doing that since I have more flexibility to do that later if we need
Mhm.
to fill in a month or two at the end of 2024.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't, I get the sense that Will hasn't been, sorry to talk about you in the third person, Will, that you haven't been putting a day a week in recently, but we can get back to that. Because I think we really need to do some concentrated work to get ready for this. I approached Christian Larange about, I don't remember if I communicated this to you, but about the data, and being able to look at the peaks of pollution in specific areas. And he wasn't really open to um to having an untrained person explore their data. Um, it it sounded hard, and so although I was hoping to give you the opportunity to look at some data, I don't think that this is that opportunity. Um, at the same time, I think Christian feels, or at least the impression I've gotten is that he feels very under the gun getting the work together for the to be prepared for the field campaign. And so we're kind of in a bind there where he's the only one who can access those episode data, but then his team doesn't really have bandwidth to do it. So we'll have to treat that a little bit gently. Um, but that's what it is. I'm reporting on that aspect. Um, okay, what else? So I think what is the way to move forward on this, given that we really need to start making strides toward having a location selected, and that probably means we need to start now and be persistently working on it.
Yeah, I think I guess the first step would be what I mentioned earlier about a follow-up
Yeah.
conversation, and maybe, just being a little bit more clear, because I could have, I mean, I could have not explained it the best way, I guess.
Well, you were just
But
making initial contact,
well,
so
that's what I'm saying. I think they might have gotten a different impression than what I might have intended for them to get as to what we were looking for. And then there is the other locations that I haven't been to yet, and we could easily just loop them into that email instead of. I think maybe I was ambitious about, oh, I can maybe make face-to-face contact with some of those people, but now as I'm looking at it, it's kind of spread out. I think we can definitely make face-to-face with the Fort Collins. I kind of moved that to the
Mhm.
side because it last time we talked, it seemed as not as interesting to you. I guess just based on, what we're looking for is like geographically and stuff. I mean,
I don't, so this is where I wish I had access to the data.
yeah.
I don't have a really good feeling about how being in a mountain valley affects the number of episodes. And and by episode, I mean you can see a rising peak of pollution and then it calms down again. So we're trying to simulate with the inversions. We're trying to simulate what would happen with the peak of a wildfire, just to see how the home would respond and be able to filter that out. Um, and so when I think about Fort Collins, and I think the same about Greeley, I think, well, it's kind of flat. I don't know if we have inversions. We do have mountain affected meteorology. But I don't know if we have the really classical, like it lifts in the morning and it's burdensome at night, that I was hoping for that kind of regularity. Um, so I wonder if I'm sure that Christian Larange has Fort Collins data. He's done this for his own house, certainly. Um, so I wonder if we could ask him, do you have data in Fort Collins, Greeley, and Durango? Um, and he's done it for Alamosa, right? Because they were writing that proposal for the San Juan Valley, right? So I wonder if that would even give me some clarity on comparing how cities that I perceive to be in more of a flat area and less of a valley, like how different their pollution events are.
So this would be, I'm unfamiliar with the work Christian has done with this. So you would be asking for stuff that he's already done, and it sounds like the thing that he doesn't have time to devote to us right now is looking at like current data. Is that what it is?
So, so what he has done is there's a bunch of purple air records out there, and it's no longer super easy to download the data, or to download a lot of data, but he wrote some script to like scrape all of the ones that there are. And so there's a huge amount of data that could be analyzed.
Oh, okay. I think he
And
did actually share this with me, and he did try and talk me through it. I was like, I'm sorry. I don't understand.
oh, did he?
It was so he was it might be a different data set, but he did have something that he was going to share with Allison and I because when we were checking the accuracy of the sensors and the omnis. So we were
Oh,
co-locating our
interesting.
omnis with some equipment that's on the roof of the
Oh,
powerhouse.
interesting.
And
Mhm.
he was trying to explain to me how, oh, this is how you can extract this. And at the time I was like, I don't know. And I haven't tried because I don't want to mess it up, but
Mhm. Um, yeah, so anyway, I think it's the same data set,
okay.
and it's I think he just doesn't feel like he has the bandwidth to be burdened by somebody like crashing around the data set,
For
so,
sure.
which I can completely
Understandable.
understand. But
Yeah.
maybe if I ask him for those four, they may be representative enough for us to make a call on whether Fort Collins is even in consideration.
Okay.
That would allow us to move forward.
Sure.
Um, and so the other thing to do is, I guess Paul had some connections that he put in here, this Oregon one.
Yes. Where are we at? Yeah, Oak Ridge, Oregon.
Is that the only one that's his?
Yes, I think that's the only thing that has been added other than what you added today.
Okay, okay. Um, so I think my preference is to stay in Colorado if we can. I think it'll just be easier. I mean, Durango's not all that close, but um, it, so it may not be easier. It may be terrible in the winter, actually.
Yeah,
Um,
you may get stuck, but
yeah. Um, but I guess my preference is to stay, I don't know, maybe this is just a bias. Maybe like once you're a 6 hour drive away, it doesn't matter if you fly or drive, you still have to get there and it's still a pain. And you still have to park people there. Um, but I would say let's pursue the Oregon or the Colorado connections first. I feel like um when we have more organizations in an area, we have greater likelihood of finding those homes and not placing all the burden on a single organization. So
mhm.
one of my original criteria was let's make sure um we have one organization, but now that it seems hard to get 16 homes, I'm thinking maybe we should try to have more than one, and then we have backups. Okay, so probably the next thing for me to do, we're nearing the end of our time, is um me to ping Christian about those four locations. Um, you do your thing with the email, and I didn't, dang, I didn't leave enough time, but I wanted to hear from Aaliyah. Is the web page up?
No,
And
we haven't made it live yet just because we were still going to fill out a section and this was part of the discussion of basically describing what it's actually like to have someone come in your home. We wanted that to be added here. So as
Okay.
we get people interested, they would learn about it. And
Okay,
that's the
so,
part that needs to be written up still.
okay,
I think we have enough to add to that, don't you think?
yeah,
We
I,
can sit down with it and just do that. I'd need to rely on
Yeah.
you
You
have.
mean you weren't there last year?
Wasn't there, didn't observe.
Yeah, let's do that. So, I'm gonna be entertaining for a few days, but I know that my friends have to take a half day of work. So maybe during that time we can try and link up. That way we can maybe get a head start on this before I'm back. I'll be back online the end of Wednesday. I mean, obviously I'll be available if you need to, like, if anybody needs to reach me. But we can try and find a day to link up and get a head start on that. And then if not, then we can definitely do it on Thursday if that's not too late, Tammy.
I mean, it's not done yet, so it's not too late. Did we give out a QR code that links to that webpage?
Not to the page, just to the general information on the website.
Oh, okay, okay.
I thought
Yeah,
it went
that
to
would
the
be good.
email.
What was that?
There is a QR code on the flyer I hadn't
Oh,
found.
yes. Yeah, it is. The link on the flyer written out goes to the website general info, and then the QR code actually goes to the email that they're supposed to respond to the actual Sapphire's email. But I haven't
Sapphire's
seen
email.
anything
Okay.
come in through that, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
No.
okay. So Will, that sounds great. You should know that we're starting the REU next week, so Aaliyah's got her hands pretty full with that.
Okay.
So that may be not perfect.
Yeah, realistically, I don't think we would really find a time before Thursday afternoon, likely.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll type up maybe just a bulleted summary of
That'd be
what
awesome.
we've done in the homes, and I can send that to you. And then once you get a chance to look at it, we can meet up and talk more about it.
That's great. That's
Honestly, I
perfect.
think the only thing might be missing is some pictures, but I think Dom and I think we actually collected some to send to Taylor. So there actually might be some photos of people doing the work in the homes. I think I'll have to talk to Dom about that.
Yeah, I'll try to, that would be great to have one or two of those as well. I have just one currently that I found, but I just don't know where everything is. So it might be a matter of looking for it.
Okay,
Great.
so I'm gonna let everyone go. I asked for half an hour and I wanna cut it off. But thank you for checking in. And Will, we should probably just be in more frequent touch, I guess, now that you're back in town and that as we get this rolling. So I'll try to set up meetings with you, and I don't know what that's gonna look like. I feel like more people should be in the meetings as we as we kind of bring the team toward that field project. Doesn't feel like we've been working on this for 2 years. Feels like we should have more done. But we should probably have a regular meeting to, like, just half an hour a week kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, sure. I can share my calendar with you. I have some already recurring meetings through the summer, so I can share that with you so we can make sure that they're on the days that work for everyone.
Okay,
Most
that's
of
great.
those are with me, I think. Right?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, first come, first
So
serve. Yeah, that's right.
if they don't work for you, like if what you see as unavailable for Will doesn't work for you, just chat with me. I was trying to consolidate and strategically align my meetings through the summer with different teams and sub teams, but there's probably a lot of flexibility if
Okay,
for you.
okay, we'll see. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good weekend. Bye.